Yo, what up, Street Talks there, Kim? Alright, so some thoughts. So why I am happy now than I was before. So it's kind of funny because I think I could honestly say that I'm happier now, post-COVID, during COVID, than it was pre-COVID. So let me kind of explain my thoughts. So first and foremost, this new lifestyle that we have, I love it. It's like I'm spending much more time in nature, much more time like going outside, and it kind of gives me a unique opportunity to appreciate things more actually. So currently here in Providence, Rhode Island, and the big benefit is it allows us to reshake up society and see new novel arrangements in which we could live our lives. And to me as a sociologist, this is fucking so fascinating. So even looks like one thing they've been doing is like closing down some of the pedestrian streets. And so it looks like they're actually making some good out of it. And also I know for myself personally, ever since COVID's been happening, I'm actually far less materialistic and capitalist and consumerist and whatever. Like for example, like, you know, I love cars, I like sports cars. And you know, I'm always like on some stupid website looking at websites for cars and stuff. And I'm always fantasizing, oh, if I only had, you know, a McLaren Senna or a Lambo, I'd be so happy and all my life problems would go away. But actually, now that we're in a situation where I think car dealerships for the most part are kind of closed, and also it's just like there's fucking nowhere to go anyways, so it's like that empty desire has kind of vanished from my psyche. Not because like I've somehow willed it to go away, but actually like it's just more of a practical thing, is that like when you no longer have the option, you don't desire unnecessary things once there's no longer the option or the need for it. Because once again, like, you know, also the practical thing, you know, me and Cindy, we live in a small apartment, so we don't even need a car, nor having a car is desirable. Cars generally more of a hassle and a problem, at least here living in the city. And what is my greatest joy? One of my greatest joys is just having the chance to walk with you and chat with you and then kind of share my thoughts with you. And so even ever since this all started happening, I've been like a quadrillion times more creatively productive, in the sense that I'm making more videos, I'm looking at more things, I'm thinking more triple thoughts. And actually the irony is, now that the whole city is pretty empty and I'm walking, I'm less self-conscious of myself doing these videos and vlogs, because every time I see a real life human being seeing me doing a vlog, of course I'm always going to change my behavior and I'm not going to talk as free-spiritedly as I would like, because, you know, obviously all humans are a little bit self-conscious. Yo, check out these trees. Isn't that so beautiful? Dude, look how beautiful this is. I love it. So beautiful. Right? So the sun keeps on shining, right? And yeah, it just, what a time to be alive. It's everything's just kind of weird. Like, a lot of us watch these disaster movies, and I think the reason why we're typically drawn to disaster movies is because our real lives tend to lack some sort of interest or intrigue, and we think that by watching these disaster films we will somehow enrich in our lives and make our personal lives a little bit more interesting. But right now, real life is the most interesting thing. So for me, even going outside, going on a walk, looking at city, looking at what's going on around, is a quadrillion times more interesting than watching any movie. So even right now, watching movies and Netflix is quite boring to me and quite uninteresting. So I'm much more interested just kind of going out. And look, there's still like construction going on and stuff like that. And also some other practical funny thoughts is, ever since COVID's been happening, I've been actually getting more muscular. Like, now that, like, you know, I was able to procure 2 60-pound dumbbells, and I just do a gang of like exercises at home, and dude, it's given me lots of gains. Like, I'm still like kind of salty and bitter that you know, I don't have my squat rack, my deadlift barbells, but I don't know, maybe fate has given me the opportunity to become a bodybuilder. And now that we have nothing else to do, all I do is work out at home, go on nice walks, talk with Cindy, cook some nice meals and stuff like that. And so I've actually been upping my meat intake, and I've been lifting more. So it looks like I've actually become stronger. And also, like, some other upsides to the whole COVID situation, it's forced me to innovate, because this is my thought. You will never truly innovate unless you're forced to, or there's actually necessity. For example, even when I think about my personal entrepreneurship philosophy, I never became self-employed or an entrepreneur because I wanted to. It was more of like I had to, because I really desired my own personal freedom above everything else. And so for me, entrepreneurship was simply a road towards freedom. And I think that's actually the thing that some people don't understand about entrepreneurship. People think that entrepreneurship is about making a lot of money. But I mean, that could be a goal, which is totally legitimate. But for me and my friend Todd Hada, who's who I consider like kind of my business mentor, it's actually all about having freedom in your life. Freedom to do what you want, the freedom to not do what you don't want. And actually even now, because once again all the restaurants and the coffee shops are closed, I'm actually maximizing the space in my apartment so much more effectively than I did in a coffee shop. So, you know, I found out like I'm discovering new standing desk configurations. You know, Cindy bought me a new Kinesis keyboard, which is super nice and clackety. And so, yeah, like I don't know, I just feel happier. I feel more creatively productive, and I'm just more focused, because, you know, and this is what I'm starting to think too. Obviously travel is good. I want to keep traveling. My next place is, I really want to go to Poland. I want to go to Warsaw. Shout out to Marcin. I want to go there. I still want to go to Hungary, Budapest, stuff like that. Shout out to my friend John. So yeah, I think that really when it comes to me and myself, I don't know, I just really kind of want to have the opportunity to still, you know, travel, explore, and see the world, blah blah. You know, I still want to go to Morocco and stuff like that. A lot of the Middle East I still haven't seen too. Like, I'd love to go to Bahrain one day and other places. But anyways, so, but the thing that's funny is that now that I know that I could no longer travel, it forces me to actually be a lot more creative and innovative based on the creative constraints which I have, which is currently here, Providence, Rhode Island. And so, truth be told, I don't think I'm gonna travel nowhere for at least the next year. And I don't know, maybe once you have decided in your mind that I'm not gonna be able to travel, I can't do X, Y, and Z, and in some ways losing all hope is the most hopeful thing you could do, because once you lose hope, you lose these false desires, and you know that you can't travel, then you could finally decide, okay, I'm gonna make the best of my situation right now, rather than kind of bemoaning my situation. So there's kind of an interesting reason. Why did the ancient Romans think that hope was a vice? Hope was considered a vice because it essentially gave people false promises, and it prevented people from just kind of making do with what they had, and rather desiring things that they didn't have. And yeah, so I think that like kind of the Russian mentality of like this kind of like fatalism is kind of a good thing. Fatalism, the basic thing that like everything is fucked, but let's kind of make the best do what we got. Even the Vietnamese have a phrase called chịu khó, which means endure suffering or difficulty, which is actually, you know, a pretty good one, because in some ways to be able to endure, durability, hardness, strongness, strength, these are all really good attributes. And so for myself moving forward, like some personal things is I'm gonna banish the thoughts of traveling from my mind. And also like maybe the thought too is that I'm gonna think to myself, you know, I actually don't want to travel. I actually prefer being here. I prefer lifting my weights, eating my meat, whatever. Still, one thing I do want to travel, plan at least once is Cuba travel workshop. I plan on maybe doing that sometime in the winter or whatever. Hopefully once this maybe travel restrictions ease up, but I'm not super hopeful about it. But anyways, I'm really kind of excited about the chance for me to to just kind of explore new forms of creativity, augmented reality, virtual reality. There's so many new things with art and technology that has yet been discovered. So I'm pretty excited and hopeful about being the one to try. And yeah, at least the nice thing, I don't know where you're living right now, but it seems like a day or two ago was like the first day of summer. And actually you could notice too is that like I have the timestamp in the corner. And yeah, so what is it? It's May, I guess. So at least here on the East Coast, the sun is shining, it's looking beautiful. Beautiful day to go on a walk. You know, obviously don't go licking no doorknobs or coughing on people and stuff like that. But yeah, like maybe it's a good idea for you to use this opportunity to live a little bit more, explore a little bit more, discover a little bit more joy in life. And rather than bemoaning our fate, so yeah, just think about the potential upsides that could happen. Well, looks like the bookstore is still open. And yeah, and using this chance to think, philosophize more. And also another upsides too, like why I'm happier during this period is I think I'm actually saving money because like we can't go to restaurants no more, so there's nothing for me to really waste my money on. And the Apple store is not open anymore, at least in real life. So you know, like the new iPhones coming out, the new iPhone SE came out, which looks pretty cool. But I'm like, yo, I'm like fucking, I have nowhere to go. So it's like, what's even the point of having an iPhone? And so, I mean, I don't know, but I assume more people are spending time at home with their laptops. Like, assuming you don't really leave your house anymore, it's like, what's the point of even having a smartphone? So I don't know, maybe this could be a step for us to disconnect ourselves away from our craziness in terms of our obsession with smartphones and devices and stuff like that, and maybe instead more chance for people to get fit, work out at home, think, philosophize, go more on nature walks. I've actually been noticing that now, like, you know, during now this reality we're living in, post, I don't even know what you call it, post-COVID, pre-COVID, during COVID, whatever, life after pre-COVID, is that more people are just like walking around, going to nature. You know, I see a lot of people walking their dogs. I don't got a dog, so I walk myself. And yeah, I don't know, just like to know that the best joy is to be alive. And I really do think that if you want to make yourself like quote unquote happier, like you cannot like psychologize yourself to be happier. I think it's purely a physiological thing, because when I'm walking, I'm getting sunlight, getting fresh air, I have coffee, I feel really good. When I don't, I feel quite shitty. So I think the goal is then to just be outside and outdoors as much as possible, to get as much UV rays as possible, and yeah, to, you know, take your top off, whatever, get a nice tan, see some nice grass, do it, and just enjoy this beauty of life.